afternoon, good. Welcome back to the Geeks channel. We are the whole crew is here in full effect. We got Amanda from the Six, Dobbs from Philly, Ryan from Colorado, and I'm representing sunny California. We finally made it, guys. It is the season finale of Moon Knight. This is a full spoiler discussion. If you haven't, go check it out on Disney Plus. This is a 6-episode season. Some argue it should have been a little bit longer, myself included. But overall, I enjoyed the series, but let's hear it from Ryan. I know you weren't too happy with the finale, man. What are your general impressions of this finale, and why did it not sit so well with you?
But I don't even know where to begin. It did everything I feared it would, to be honest. It was I don't know how they can conceptually look at this and be like, this works. The first 3 episodes are like 58 minutes long. The second to last episode was like 53 minutes long. Then this one's like 46 minutes with credits. And this is the finale, and they have so much shit that they have to just like build out, bro. Like, they don't need. I have problems with the way they handled the Jake Lockley reveal at the end. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is such a crazy reveal. I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? I literally said this on the first episode for this. They're probably just going to do it as a post-credit scene for the finale. And for some reason, I'm going to start ranting about the Jake Lockley stuff real quick. Bear with me, people. I have a problem with them keep doing this tease of Jake Lockley over and over again, and none of the characters ever acknowledging it past the point of saying, it's not me, is it you, Steven? And Steven says no. Like, how much longer can you guys do this? This is about the 3rd or 4th time that Jake has come out and killed everyone. And even to the point that he takes away the final battle, and because they want to save it as a reveal for the post-credit scene, you kind of don't see that much of a fight with the villain, which is kind of disappointing. Because I really thought the action that they were doing in the beginning portion was fucking awesome. But then, oh no, Jake Lockley comes, and then everything's done, and then the villain's thrown away, and then, oh look, Jake Lockley. Boom. I can't, because like
I just want to say hi, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. Caitlin's calling you out, Rye. She said that you're going a little bit too deep when this was supposed to be general thoughts. But you know what, dude? Hey, right. I totally get your thoughts. I have similar issues, but just like with most of the MCU shows, like that haven't been Loki and WandaVision. I'm on the side that I've had enough fun that it kind of glosses over some of the negative stuff. That I agree, Rye. I think the Jake Lockley thing was kind of jumbled and it was a little bit rushed. But
can I say something?
What are your thoughts? Quick? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I paid attention to this in the episode. Mark Spector does not even show up in this episode until 15 minutes in.
Yep.
Like,
can I say something?
Focuses on Layla. When, bro, you should have just been focusing on Layla in the last episode. Just have it go back and forth between what Mark is doing and what Layla's doing.
I want to hear what you have to say, Amanda.
I disagree.
We're fighting. We're fighting.
We are gonna fight because
his gloves are coming off.
No, I think that the focus was more on Arthur Harrow than Layla in the first half of episode 6, and I think you needed that considering we didn't really. Like everyone's been complaining that like there's no clear cut plan for him, that we didn't see a plan like leading up to episode 6. And I feel like this is what I'm like at the beginning of episode 6, like this is what we wanted. We had Arthur Harrow kind of leading the way, and I was totally okay because technically Mark Spector is like, he was dead. So if we're gonna go back to that moment where he was shot, it only makes sense to see what Arthur Harrow is gonna do and go back and forth, because we had 2 full episodes of just Mark Spector and Stephen Grant. So I think it was necessary to move the story along, especially in a finale like this. So I kind of like that because we got to see more of Ethan Hawke, who was a superstar in this episode. And I really appreciate that they opened with that.
Though.
But you said that we got Mark Spector 15 minutes in, and I'm saying that it was okay.
That's Listen,
Just
that's not what I just said. I said we need that stuff, but they should have put it in the last episode,
I
and they should
disagree.
use more of this. Why?
And take
Why do you
away from the
disagree?
beautiful, heartfelt stuff that we got in 5. No, thank you.
No, just make the episode longer.
No.
It's
Well-
literally 15 minutes worth of stuff. Make
Really
an
quick,
hour
because I want
fucking
to distract
episode.
Dibes from whatever he's doing. But really quickly, I gotta say, right, I agree that I think this should have been an 8, maybe 10 episode season. I think they rushed a lot of things.
Oh, now you
I
agree
think-
with that, Amanda?
No,
Okay.
no, and listen. The finale being 30 minutes, I think is a disservice to the fans, a disservice to the amazing performances that Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac are performing. I agree with you. However, I had a lot of fun. It was visually stunning. I loved the whole kaiju Egyptian kaiju gods battling across the desert, and Mr. Knight pulling some straight martial arts Muay Thai out of like the raid. That was fantastic. But look, all of that fun stuff aside, this was definitely undercooked. It's definitely not in my top 2 of the shows so far. It just kind of, they really rushed a lot of stuff. Arthur Harrow did not get enough screen time up until this moment. So like Amanda was saying, they gave him his moment, but it was just too much too late. And that's my thoughts. Dibes, I want to pull you away from whatever you're doing. What are your general impressions, sir?
Believe me, this is a lot more fun than what's happening over here. Trust me.
Hey, go Sixers, go!
I'm dying on the inside. Thanks for joining, Caitlin. Thank you so much. It was fine. Was it disappointing? Absolutely. It was enjoyable, but it definitely made me feeling a little bit disappointed, a little upset when the credits hit. I thought the action was fine. I was really happy to see Layla in full action. But like the premise of the show, what the show is about is Mark and Steven, and you nailed it, Ryan. I fully agree. It didn't show up until 15 minutes into the episode. So you got a 30-minute episode, and you've got this giant CGI sky battle that felt like very traditional MCU. This show has been the opposite of traditional across the MCU. That's not exactly what I was hoping for in this finale. You guys nailed it. Emmett was really cool, but we only got a few minutes of the character, and I felt nothing for this character whatsoever. It just felt very like Phase 1 Marvel, very much. It definitely left a lot more questions than answers when the credits hit. And, we didn't even get to see how Jake managed Harrow at the very end. That felt like a cop-out. It was all just disappointing. I agree with what everyone's saying here, man. The lesson learned in this show, don't get me wrong, it was a terrific show. It's literally my top 15 of any MCU project, period. But the show could have been truly special with an 8 to 10 episode run. And instead, I feel like Marvel gave us something great with 6 episodes. So that's just really my take. I don't think this finale was as good as the Loki finale, but it was enjoyable. I think this, it's just, I had higher expectations.
So something I want to add too about the finale that I found really jarring, that kind of confused me, is when Amit and Khonshu just turned into giants all of a sudden. It went from one frame with them just randomly fighting as their regular sized gods, and then next thing you know, they're just stabbing each other on the side of the fucking pyramids, and you're just
Yeah.
wait a second, you guys are so big. And I'm like, this is a cool scene, but they had no build up. It kind of just happened, and it left me more confused trying to figure out what happened rather than building up and telling me that, oh look, they're going big now and they're gonna have this big brawl. And it feels like that they feel like they're on this time constraint with this episode, and I don't know why. It feels very cutting corner-ish.
Can I
in some
piggyback on that,
aspects.
Rye?
Yeah.
I'll admit, there was 2 or 3 moments in this where I was like, oh, he can do that? I didn't even know Khonshu could be interacting with someone outside of the avatars. I thought that was the whole point of the avatars. So I get you. I think there's a lot of mythology and a lot of story beats that just happen here. But Manda, I know you kind of spoke to Ryan's point already, but overall, I know you really like this show and you like this finale. Do you want to elaborate more on your first impressions of the finale?
Yeah, sure. I feel like the one word that I've been using is that it was satisfying, because this is the best that they could do, and I understand that that's not good enough. But again, with 6 episodes, you can't really do much, and it did feel rushed. I completely agree. It did feel rushed, and I wanted more from, from Arthur Harrow. You wanted more from everyone. You wanted to have it more polished and more clean, and that's not what we got in episode 6. But for what they gave us, I was pretty content. I, for one, did like the stuff with Jake Lockley. I thought that post-credit scene was really strong. Hopefully that we do get a season 2. I really love it. But yeah, there are things where I feel like I'm just so used to the MCU shows and the structure of like going from 5 to 6 that it didn't really affect not having Mark Spector within the first 15 minutes. Like, I understand both of you like dived in, right? Like, I completely get it, but I guess it just didn't click in for me that it was an issue in that case, because he did have to come back to life, and then all of that stuff. So
it felt like it wasn't even part of the show. Like, it felt
fair.
like this show, for me at least, was the definition of the MCU showing us that less is more. Mm-hmm. And they just shoved so much down your throat in this finale with CGI and blank outs, and it just didn't work for me. Everything felt rushed. Yeah, there were some tender moments. Like, I love the moment between Mark and Steven there, saying that you're like my only superhero I need, or something along those lines. That was amazing. That was really well done. But like, that's the beauty of the show. Like, you go through all my favorite moments. Like, it's been the dialogue of Oscar Isaac and Mark and Steven, and like, I would have much preferred like the Jake reveal and just keep it like small potatoes, right? Like, the Emmett versus Khonshu thing was just, it was over.
Really quick. Jacob Hubbard's in the house. Thanks for joining us, Jacob. He says, after seeing Multiverse of Madness and finishing the show, Marvel's stepping it up in way more adult themes and shows, and the show had great mythology. I agree. And honestly, it feels like we hate this show, and I know we don't.
No.
So, piggybacking off of Dibes, let's just talk about our favorite moments really quick, and then we'll get more into the analysis of what they could have done better. Again, I just want to highlight, I really like the choreography with Mr. Knight. I'm glad Steven finally came out of his shell, like realizing what he can do instead of being scared to even interact. He knows that he can do what Mark can do because they are the same body. And it was kind of jarring to see him all of a sudden throw roundhouse kicks and flying knees, but God, he looks great in that suit. Also, shouts out to Layla. I thought Layla was excellent in this episode. I didn't see that coming. That was actually my most pleasant surprise so far. Forgive my phone. I really liked seeing her in superhero form, even if it was for 10 minutes and temporary. And I thought she was great. So, Dibes, what was your one of your favorite moments?
Yeah, Layla in that costume was sensational. I thought that was easily one of the highlights. I thought Layla really stole the show the last few weeks, and more so here in the finale, which was a complete shock for me. It felt like Marvel said, like, Wonder Woman wasted this terrible wingsuit in the sequel, and we're just going to up it on every single level because her costume was just awesome. It was really, really well done. All for it, but just, again, maybe save that for like a post-credit scene or... But I'm happy Layla got her show. But my favorite moments easily is this Mark and Steven working together, especially towards the ending, where you see them you see Oscar Isaac going real suddenly fast, like Mark, Steven. Like, that was really fun. That was easily my favorite moment.
What about you, Rye? I know you had some issues with the finale, but what were some moments that you did enjoy, man?
The moments I enjoyed are the same moments I enjoy every episode, and that I feel like that's like kind of the reoccurring thing I found when it comes to talking about this is Oscar Isaac's fantastic. I love Oscar Isaac. The relationship between him and Mark is so great now, and yes, they did a fucking amazing job at getting that relationship down, especially within this episode, but I feel like everything around it just fell apart for me, even with the Layla stuff. I thought she was cool and badass, but I just thought the way it all unfolded just didn't work, in my opinion. And they just fumbled on so many ends that it all just goes back to my only good thing I found within this episode was the Steve and Mark relationship and them being able to bond and work together.
So Jacob brings up a good point here. He said he loved Layla a lot. There was enough development for her to earn. He didn't think there was enough development to earn a oh wow
Yeah.
moment being in the suit, but her acting was terrific in switching characters. So shout out May Kalamawe, if I'm saying that correctly. Her inner dialogue with two personalities between
That's
with
good.
Tarway,
Tara, yeah.
Tara-
Tarway and her. That was
Tara.
awesome. She
Yeah.
was like Oscar Isaac. I could do this too. So
Real quick shout out to, I think one of the best moments was when Steven, I think, saw Towet or something like in the background, and he goes, "Hippo!" and was like screaming. That was fantastic.
Love
I
him.
might be using that for the Force. Here.
So I have an issue with that exact moment, but I'll bring that up later. Amanda, what was your favorite moments in this episode?
Obviously the sentimental moment between Mark and Steven in placing Mark's heart in Steven's hand. I thought that was a beautiful moment. Dibes mentioned it before, but for me, it was like going from Moon Knight to Mr. Knight in very swift action scenes. The editing was great. Throwing those crescent moons, throwing whatever weapon, and then like Moon Knight's catching it or Mr. Knight's catching it, like wicked. I need to see more of that. I was literally cheering Steven on with Mr. Knight because that was ridiculous, the confidence that guy had. But that was my favorite moment. That action sequence, fighting together, aces.
Real quick question: Is this why Sam's character Falcon is now got a shield? Now that we have Layla with like Hawk
Maybe.
Hawk costume.
Maybe.
Probably.
That makes sense. I love it.
So coming full circle, now that there's nothing to predict or theorize about, I'm really curious about A, the decision to make the finale so short, and B, the Jake Lockley thing. It just felt like it was hovering over our heads for 3 weeks. We kept wondering about it. And all of a sudden, I think Dives, did you call it? Dives,
Yeah.
you called it being the post-credit here, right?
To be fair, I did call in the post-credit scene. That was going to be the reveal. But I did, like, a week later, I did, like, correct it and say I thought we're going to get Gore, the God Butcher, and just him just murdering that entire, every single god in that, like, little council pyramid thing. So I got one right. Batting 500, I guess.
So I have a question. Like, it made me feel, maybe I'm tripping, but it made me feel like the Marvel didn't quite know if they wanted to do a second season. It almost made me feel like they were just waiting to see how people react, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, this can keep going. Let's leave Jake Lockley." It just felt like they made a last-minute decision right before, like while we were watching it. Almost felt like, am I reaching here? Is that too much of a reach?
Yeah, I'm just tired of them doing this shit. Like, bro, if you're not gonna make it return, just don't do it. If you're not confident what the show is gonna be in the future past this one season, don't put a post credit like this and then tease him for at least half the season. That'd be the ultimate jerk pull. Like, what the fuck? How are you gonna show him for 3 episodes, have the characters rarely acknowledge it, show him for 1 frame, shoot Harrow at the end in a post-credit scene in the last episode that potentially might be its last episode ever, and this character might not interact in the MCU anymore? Because let's be real, if this doesn't have a season 2, no Moon Knight shows up ever again, they can throw this shit right under the rug, no fucking problem. So I think that's where my discrepancy is with the post-credit scene. Like, yeah, Jake Lockley's cool, but I don't want to get my hopes up because it seems like Marvel doesn't even know what they want to do with this character / series.
I think that's the entire point of these Disney Plus shows. They're just experimental projects to see what hits. Look at Star Wars Visions. It's kind of the same concept, I think. But I agree with a lot of the naysayers here. Terrific series. Again, we're going to get into rankings a little bit. But, like, overall, a sensational performance by Oscar Isaac here. But you look at, like, start to finish, not a lot happens in this show. Not a lot.
And also, I beg to question, and you guys can help me work this out in my head, but my biggest issue with this finale was Arthur Harrow with his magic cane wiping out those other gods like they were nothing. Like, that just was really,
and then being shocked about it. They're like, "Oh no, Arthur!"
Exactly. Oh
and
no,
I'm
it's
like,
Arthur
"Yo,
Harrow."
what?" I'm like, "Oh, yo, what?"
No way he betrayed us. And then he just wipes them out, and it's like, wait a minute. Like, he is a human, these are like the gods of the centuries, and they just took it. They just got their asses kicked. Like, I don't know.
I feel like there's a whole backstory there that was never addressed. Like, because we remember that episode where Harrow and Mark or Steven are in the pyramid, and Harrow's like literally killing all these people, and Mark and Steven you're trying to lay it down, say like, this guy is no good, and all of a sudden this happens. Like, it feels like there's a lot of gods that do not like Khonshu whatsoever, and it's probably justifiable, like, for reasons we just don't know them.
I hate this so much because those first 2 episodes were they were so fucking good, and I agreed. Fucking Oscar Isaac is phenomenal on this show, but I just don't know why they felt like they had to rush and throw so much shit to the fence at the last second. Like, I think one of my problems is I think they completely fumble the relationship with Layla and Mark by the end. Like, they see, like, it goes back to the same problem. Who knows what's going to happen with the season 2 with the character? It kind of feels like that with the end of this episode, they can kind of just ignore the Layla character, because I kind of feel like that Khonshu made Mark and Steven think that he had taken away his power from them, but secretly didn't, so Jake Lockley can be the primary host. But they're not with Layla when they're going back living their regular life in London, especially after thinking that they're done with all this. And they're back to locking their foot up again. It doesn't make... I don't really understand the ending in that aspect, because it feels very episode 1, and I feel like we've taken a lot of development at that point.
It was very confusing. What's up, Dubs?
This comment from Caitlin that they don't show Jake in the season because Mark and Steven weren't aware of his existence. I disagree with that. I fully think that Mark is fully aware of Jake's character, and he's like completely buried it into his subconscious, and that's like I feel like he's definitely aware. We just haven't seen it yet.
Really quick, I want to say what's up to Ryan Cam in the house. He said, good evening. Hello, Ryan. Mrs. Crockpot's in the house. She's saying, if Steven was an imagination of Mark, what if Jake is an imagination of Steven? I think that's an interesting point.
I like that.
But at the same time, it's like there's so much of this dissociative identity thing here that we just don't know enough about, and it's not fleshed out enough. And I think this season should have been longer. It's just there's so many questions here, and we are left confused. We're left questioning it, and I want to love it.
There should have been a Harrow
as much
episode.
as Manda does, but
100%. This Jake was the one in the
yeah.
Oh no, yeah, Jake was the one in the coffin, and Jake was teased in the first 3 episodes. Not the first 3. I'm fucking fried right now. The last 3 episodes, like I don't know. I'm just kind of upset because I don't have high expectations a lot, because it gets me to where I am right now. I'm not disappointed, but I feel like they could have made better decisions in the story they were trying to make, because I feel like all the pieces are there. They just didn't put them in the right order. And that's the thing that bothers me, because we should have had a whole episode dedicated to Harrow and Khonshu's relationship, because that is the whole driving force for Harrow teaming up with Ahmed.
That could have been an episode right there, right? Like the fact that we're missing
the entire episode could have been around how he found Khonshu, how they started, what he did, how he trained him, and then how they broke up. Bro, the idea is right there. Like, why could we not do that to build up the character? Why are we stuck in the 6th episode arc when, like, the answer is that simple that I'm literally giving you an entire episode idea that more than likely works, because, dude, Ethan Hawke's phenomenal, and I think this character could have been so much more if they gave him the time. But they definitely did not give him the time. They didn't give Moon Knight the time. Somehow they didn't even give fucking Mark the time. That's the thing that kind of bothers me at the end.
What bothers me is go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying, Nana looks like she has a lot on her mind. How are you doing over there?
No, I'm just listening. Like, I understand all of this. I do. Like, don't get me wrong. But Dibes, go ahead.
It's like I thought this show was Marvel's response to Eternals, to Hawkeye, just so many characters that are really interesting characters, but not giving enough depth and time to get fully fleshed out. And through 5 episodes, I thought they accomplished that. They minus Harrow, but like even in this finale, I feel like they were expecting us to understand like what's going on between Khonshu and Emmett, and I had no idea. Like other than just like imagine the life of living in Marvel right now. You get blipped. There's giant fucking gods fighting around pyramids. Like that's like I just like kill myself.
Dude, they're getting pitchforked into the pyramids. Like what the fuck is going on?
There's another moment I want to bring up.
Out of the ocean, like what's going on right now?
A fucking skeleton's fighting an alligator, like.
So there's another moment I want to bring up, and I think it sums up how I feel about the series as a whole. So the ending, the very, very, very end. I loved how it looked. I love the style. Amanda, it reminded me of The Godfather, especially the very first Godfather when you get those round of kills and you pull the guy into the car and it's just like, oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
But here's my problem, right? Khonshu's looking smooth in his suit, taking notes from Steven. He's looking dapper, and then all of a sudden, oh, hello, Jake from New York, whatever. But my thing is, I don't understand. Okay, maybe it's just the whole identity thing that I don't understand. But
dude, why did he just kill him before? Like,
well, okay, no, not just that. It's like, how did Khonshu? How can he only inhabit Jake, and then Mark and Steven don't know about it? Like, I just don't. Help me out, guys. Help me out.
Personally, I think when Mark blacked out, I think that Khonshu made a deal with Jake in that moment, in that final battle. And then when he went to go talk to Mark and give him the choice to like kill Arthur Harrow in that moment, and Mark said, set me free, because Layla told him not to, and he didn't want to kill him. Mark did not want to kill him. It had a change of heart, whatever it was. But I think that Khonshu made a deal with Jake.
No, not Mark. Jake. Why didn't Jake kill him the first time? Because it was Jake that overturned.
It was right, and I thought he did until the post-credit scene. I swear to God, yeah.
That's my point. What is the point of the post-credit scene? It literally makes no sense. He literally had him there, right, but they only drive it out.
But it's the same way as like Mark got shot and he went to the psych ward. Arthur Harrow died and went to the psych ward. And I personally thought that post-credit scene when he was in the ward was that like Amit kind of scrambled his brain after like.
Yeah, but if it scrambled his brain, like why even go through the hassle of just like breaking him out and then killing him right in the front of the asylum? That's my point. Why waste your time doing some of these things?
I like this comment from Caitlin. It's an earthquake under the ocean. We handle it by not handling it. I think what you're referring to is Jake and Mark's recognition of Jake's character. I think there's a piece of that, like, where there's a piece of Mark that is like this psychopath. And in order to handle that, like, Mark's got confrontation issues himself. Mark's a flawed character in himself. Yeah. And I think I think that's how I'm seeing this comment is in order to handle like the unbelievable evils that Jake has done, maybe. Again, I'm not that up to date on Moon Knight, but maybe that's how Mark handles it, by just pretending like it doesn't exist.
But like, I feel like that's the thing now. Like, I really don't even give a shit about Jake at this point. Like, honest to God,
you were so excited. Episode 3, you're like, oh, look at these 3 personalities.
Yeah. And then right. They did nothing.
Oh, okay.
Caitlin, I remember that quote. It was when Black Widow was talking to them through the intercom.
Yeah.
Or the hologram, sorry. And I think it was what's her name from Wakanda?
I know.
Shuri?
No.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Shuri. It was Denai Guerrero's character.
Okoye,
yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah. I don't know. This finale just really disappointed me. I feel like finale-wise, it's definitely bottom tier for me.
Wow. I disagree. I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think it's bottom tier.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible at all. I think Loki was definitely left me way more excited. Like without that post-credit scene, this could have been a monumental like failure of an episode. I think the post-credit scene for me actually got me excited, and it also reveals that we're getting a season 2. That's definitely going to happen, which is exciting.
So Amanda, do you have anything else you want to kind of bring up? I feel like we're kind of like we hit most of the main things here.
Yeah, no, you guys did, and I agree with everything.
Yeah, because I'm
you
gonna
guys
get
said.
cooked for this fucking ranking, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I
so-
honestly didn't think it was like that bad of an episode. I think for me, it's like when I see the episode, especially like I'm a Falcon and Winter Soldier fan. Like we got that show, and I was fine with what we got. Could it have been better? 100%. But like it's what it is. Like we can't change it now. So for me, like with Moon Knight, the whole show as a whole has been very consistent, and I think it's been consistent. I don't know. In the writing and like the tone, I think that they really nailed it, and they knew the story that they wanted to tell. I think, was it done properly in 6 episodes? No way. None of them are ever done properly in 6 episodes. We needed more time.
No,
But we didn't
not
get it.
none of them.
I
Like
love-
Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have worked without the Flag Smashers for 6 episodes, baby. Boom, right there, fixed your problem.
But it's still 6 episodes, and it was still a mess regardless of the Flag Smashers, and that thing needed 8 episodes.
But you see,
We had the same conversation.
No. See, if you take the Flag Smashers out, keep the 6 episodes, it gives you more time with Walker. So
I disagree with that. I think we
So,
I mean-
here-
I mean,
Here-
if you take out time and you fill it in with more stuff, that's hard to disagree with.
I just don't understand. The Flag Smashers weren't like massive pieces of that
Yes,
show.
they were, bro.
I don't think so. There was one person acting as the group, which was Carly.
Yeah,
and you-
because
You barely like you only saw her a little bit. It wasn't even that much. It was messy
bro,
for
what are
other
you
reasons,
talking
like
about?
the
You saw her
power
every
broker.
episode.
The whole
What do you
power broker
mean?
BS. I'm not gonna get into
Bro,
Falcon.
All right.
It's
I'm
still
not
bad.
gonna-
Jacob-
Regardless, we need 8 episodes and not
I'm not
6.
gonna.
and
I'm not
tired
gonna
of it.
listen
That's it.
to someone who's blinded by love right now. Sorry.
All
Love
right,
with-
let's
okay.
let's shelve that for another time. Jacob likes his finale over Falcon Winter Soldier and Loki. I agree with the first, not the latter. I'll kick us off here. I think as a whole, I'll give this series like a 6.8 out of 10. I think the ambition and the good things it did really shines, but for not being long enough, not showing enough of Harrow, especially with the amazing Ethan Hawke, I feel like he just didn't have enough backstory or screen time. But overall, though, Oscar Isaac showcased all of that's wonderful about him. He's such a great actor, and a lot of the good outweighs a lot of the bad. So I would give it a 6.8. If I had to compare it to the other shows, I would have Loki and WandaVision over this in that order. I did like this a little bit more than Hawkeye. Hawkeye also had a so-so finale for me, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier had the same problem. So overall, I think the show is like a lot of what Dibes was saying. I think a lot of the shows are like Marvel's kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks here. For the most part, they've had excellent casting from Haley Steinfeld to Oscar Isaac, and I think they have a lot of good things happening here. Jonathan Majors, but it also shows that they quite haven't grasped how to perfect their series formula, so to say. I think WandaVision did the best out of the group, but and Loki to an extent, but I think Marvel has a long way to go in that department. So Ryan, give us your final grade and where it sits with the other shows for you.
So I give this entire season a 7.3. I'm surprised that I'm actually higher than Loretto because I thought I'd be the lowest tonight, but fuck it. I'm glad I'm not. And I'm going to give you the 5 ranking. This is my 10 to 15th place ranking. This is where Moon Knight lies between. At number 10, I've got Civil War. At number 11, I've got Ant-Man. At number 12, I've got WandaVision. At number 13, I've got Hawkeye. At number 14, I've got Loki. And then number 15, I've got Moon Knight.
It's not that bad.
Deebs, you're muted. Deebs, you're muted. I just see him talking.
I was gonna say, with how unhappy you were with this finale, I'm surprised it's that high for you.
Yeah, like
Just a full range of emotions today, bro. Just a full
I
range.
feel like a lot of the complaints with the finale are basically Hawkeye, but an entire series. Like episodes 1 through 5 of Moon Knight were sensational, at least on my end.
I agree.
No, I think each week I explain each individual problem with each episode. Fair enough. Like I didn't think the last 2 episodes were the most phenomenal because I feel like everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is some of the best fucking television you'll ever watch." And I'm not saying that the hype got to me, but like I was expecting something, but like I don't know. I feel it was something I wanted, but the 6 episodes ruined it. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to say, but that's my ranking.
That's what I have like with Hawkeye. Like it was solid, but again, 6 episodes, you shove everything in there. It's not going to do much. It needs to be longer.
I definitely think Hawkeye worked better as a flowing story than Moon Knight did. I'm not saying that
it also had the same problem.
I'm not saying the story is better. I'm just saying the story flowed better.
Yeah,
Hawkeye was very inconsistent. It was it was all over the place. So I don't know.
Yeah, talk about like identity issues. Like Hawkeye had the most identity issues. Like bringing in Elena, we're gonna bring in Kingpin. We're gonna like who's the other character? I'm drawing a blank. That's Echo. Like Echo had no idea what it wanted to be. So,
Mrs.
I definitely think.
She gives the series as a whole a 9. The finale is 7.5. Caitlin gave the series a 9. What about you, Dives? What's your final grade for the series as a whole, and how would you rank it with the other shows?
Yeah, series overall, I give it. She's on it. I probably like a little higher. I think like WandaVision's by far the best because of all the reasons that of all the weaknesses we just discussed. Like WandaVision's the one show in the MCU that has a beginning, a middle, and end, and wraps things up so beautifully well with great performances, and sets up Scarlet Witch so amazing, which I'm so excited for tomorrow night for Doctor Strange 2. I give the finale here a 7 out of 10. It wasn't terrible by any means. It wasn't for me, but that doesn't take away the strengths that this show had week to week to week, man. I love the journey. I love the horror elements. Pretty much every single episode up until episode 6, the pacing, the story, the characters, I love them all. I felt this had potential to overtake WandaVision. That's how high I was on this show, and it didn't. So I will go WandaVision 1. Next tier is Loki and Moon Knight in that same tier, and then Hawkeye, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and What If. So WandaVision's still the king or queen, I guess.
Definitely agree with you there.
Yeah,
WandaVision number 1 for me, but Wanda's right under it, right there.
But yeah, overall, like just amazing episode or series, man. Just that was a hell of a time. Most I've like since Loki, definitely since Loki, the most like invested I've been in a MCU TV show by far. Like Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier, those shows did nothing for me. I could have easily just fallen asleep. There's so many. There are episodes in those series that you could just like skip altogether and like nothing happens. That being said, that's probably a criticism of Moon Knight, where not much happens. But if you want a character study, if you want like an emotional journey about trauma and abuse and all that kind of stuff, man, I think this show's right up your alley, and that's me.
Yeah, no, it did a lot of things really well. But Queen Manda with the Moon Knight baseball cap, what are your thoughts? What's your rank? What's your score for the series? Because you're probably the highest out of all of us, Miss Manda Spector.
Thank you. I give the whole series a 9 out of 10. I really loved it, every second of it. Oscar Isaac blew me away, and like Dibe said, it is a character study, and I think that's where it really got me. Like episode 5 just emotionally slapped me across the face. Like it was ridiculous. Like the tears were ridiculous, and the writing for that episode for like Mark and Steven, just beautiful work from them. But yeah, I said from the beginning, I feel like it's consistent. They knew the story that they wanted to tell. I found the pacing, apart from this finale was a mess. Straight up, I'm gonna say it. We've been saying it. There was issues wrapping this up, but for me, the pacing in each episode, it worked out well. We got a nice balance of Moon Knight when we needed to pop in and have those battles, Mr. Knight, the whole thing. I feel like introducing each character that way per episode was smart, and I love it so much. I think it's something different. It's a part of Marvel, the universe that we haven't seen, which is very important, and I think that that's what we need more of. All this lore, this mythology is something they need to tap into because there's so much that they can do with it. So for me, Moon Knight is number one. It is number one. I was very invested. I loved it. Really enjoyed it. I need more of Oscar Isaac. I need a season 2. I need a cameo. Midnight Suns, whatever you want to do with him. Phenomenal. This can't be the end of it. So yeah, 1, Moon Knight. 2 is Loki. 3 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry. 4 is WandaVision, and then What If, and then Hawkeye. At least we can agree on Hawkeye, fam. Like, that's what we can do.
So on this positive note, let's keep it on this positive note. I hope Marvel doesn't shy away from this because, to be fair, the internet is kind of really divisive. I've seen a lot of upset people with the entire series. I've seen one guy post a thumbnail that said midnight, and I thought that was kind of thought that was kind of shady. But Caitlin over here, Caitlin, we got to get you on this show. Caitlin is spitting. She said that they should just give the makers of the show the liberty to make it as long as needed to fill a well-written story and well-developed story. And I think that is facts. Like, let the story, the series showrunner, whoever, the directors, let them tell the story. Like, don't give them this, hey, fit it into 6 episodes, make it work. Like, 'cause I think these shows are suffering because of that. And very well said, Caitlin.
It's not like, real quick, like, that's like a trend, right? Like, it feels like almost nearly every, other than WandaVision, like every other finale has something like pasted in there to like set up something else. Like, we had that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had that with Hawkeye and Kingpin and all that kind of stuff. I feel like, I agree though. Like, I feel, just tell the story.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think WandaVision is the only one that is, other than What If, it looks like from the poster, you can tell, is like, it's the only true show from Disney Plus that is connecting to a film as we know of right now.
Yeah, Photon was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the strength of
WandaVision.
Yeah, so good.
I can't wait for the Marvel.
It made me excited for Captain Marvel 2, which is like absurd to think about. Yeah, Photon, all those characters. Who's the witch? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Agatha.
Come on, Agatha. Like,
So with all that being said, though, I think overall, despite the belly flop and not the cannonball, I think Moon Knight had a lot going for it, especially visually and thematically. Hopefully, Marvel doesn't shy away from doing more different things. I cannot wait for Multiverse of Madness. I don't care what anybody has said so far. Some people didn't like it. Some people are just whatever about it. I think Sam Raimi is someone I trust. He's a really good filmmaker. Danny Elfman has countless scores that I love, and I think visually we're in for a treat. I'm seeing at 3 tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, but stay tuned on this channel. On Friday, we will be reviewing the Multiverse of Madness. And before we get out of here, Amanda, what you got going on? Where can people find you?
Oh man, you can always find me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I have my Multiverse of Madness spoiler-free review up on my YouTube channel at Canon Cinema. I watched a documentary on Netflix called Our Father. Twisted. Should not have watched it late at night. Scarred me. I'll tell you guys offline what it's about, because I just should not have watched it last night. But yeah, I have that coming up. But yeah, I'm probably going to do a spoiler-filled Multiverse of Madness review, and my Moon Knight review is up right now, so go check that out.
Candid Cinema. Mr. Crockpot, where can they find you, Mr. Crockpot?
you can find me in a corner crying myself to sleep tonight as the Sixers find themselves in a 2-0 hole to the Miami Heat. It's going down right now. Sad face. But no, seeing Doctor Strange 2 tomorrow night, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, this was a great show. What do we got coming up from the MCU show-wise this year? Is there
Miss Marvel is June 11th.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
She-Hulk is still unknown. We've got the Guardians holiday special. Fuck. Secret
Is Armor Wars
Invasion.
this year or next year?
I
No,
think it's next
not
year.
Secret. They haven't even started filming it yet, so I have no clue.
Okay. Well, I
I think
could've sworn
Secret
something was
Invasion
filming.
is this year.
It's Secret Invasion, I think.
Okay, there
I'm
it
trying
is.
to think. There's one more I'm forgetting. What if season 2 possibly?
Yeah, I think what if season 2 I think is happening this year, right?
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
that's been like on and off. I've heard back and forth about it
Okay.
Yeah.
releasing this year.
By the way, I'm excited to see Doctor Strange and the best Scarlet Witch tear shit up, man. It's gonna be awesome.
You're gonna love it,
Last
There
but
you
Doug.
not
go.
least, Rye, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me just Ryan again. Y'all already know. Post the worst takes on Twitter. With Elon owning it now, might get fucking kicked off for starting so many trash tweet fires
We can only
over
hope.
on the website. So who ultimately really knows? So guys, yeah, I'm so fucking excited for Multiverse of Madness. I'm just gonna be raving about that all weekend. Like I'm already thinking about buying tickets to go see it the next morning just to give me something to do. Like it's fucking crazy, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys on Friday.
Hell yeah. So if you're watching, please like and subscribe down below. Follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geeks. We also have an Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden or Letterbox. Be back to this channel Friday, 5 p.m. Right, guys?
Yeah,
5
9 p.m.
Pacific,
Eastern
9
Standard.
p.m. Eastern. You
9
just
p.m.
lost me
Eastern.
with that.
Oh Lord,
9
I don't know
p.m.
what time things are
Eastern.
happening.
Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m.
Yeah, love.
Pacific, on this channel Friday. We are a proud member of the Music City network of podcasts. Check them out, musiccitydrivein.com. For Amanda, for Dives, for Rye, and myself. We'll see you guys on Friday. Take care, everybody.
Bye.